Elizabeth II was Queen of the United Kingdom from 6 February 1952 until her death on 8 September 2022. Her reign of 70 years and 214 days was the longest of any British monarch and the second longest recorded of any monarch of a sovereign country. Born, April 21, 1926, Bruton Street, London, United Kingdom. Died, September 8, 2022, Balmoral Castle, United Kingdom. Full name, Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor. Spouse, Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh M. 1947 to 2021. Children: King Charles III, Prince Andrew, Duke of York, Anne, Princess Royal, Prince Edward, Earl of Wessex. Grandchildren: Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, April 21, 1926, born Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary in Mayfair, London, the first child of the future King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, later called the Queen Mother. Date of death, September 8, 2022. Place of death, Balmoral Castle, United Kingdom. Queen Elizabeth II dies. Around 4 p.m., people begin to gather outside Buckingham Palace in London, despite rain. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, died at the age of 96, leaving behind a legacy that blended the ancient and the modern with the help of mass media. The daily life of Queen Elizabeth. Rising at around 8:30 a.m., Her Majesty is greeted by the sounds of the bagpipes each morning at 9, as a piper plays on the terrace beneath her apartment at Buckingham Palace. She usually takes a bath before having breakfast alone, and it is usually cornflakes or Special K cereal and fresh or dried fruit. Stamp collecting. Perhaps this is a hobby of Queen Elizabeth's that will come as less of a surprise to most people. Stamp collecting is one of the world's most popular hobbies and is done in all cultures all over the world. Queen Elizabeth herself appears on several stamps. Some key moments in Queen Elizabeth's reign. Becoming queen. Following the death of King George VI, Princess Elizabeth Alexandra Mary ascended to the throne on February 6, 1952, at age 25. Elizabeth was born at 2:40 GMT on 21 April 1926, during the reign of her paternal grandfather, King George V. Her father, the Duke of York, later King George VI, was the second son of the king. Her mother, the Duchess of York, later Queen Elizabeth the Queen Mother, was the youngest daughter of Scottish aristocrat Claude Bowes-Lyon, 14th Earl of Strathmore and Kinghorn, at whose London home, 17 Bruton Street, Mayfair, she was delivered by caesarean section. She was baptized by the Anglican Archbishop of York, Cosmo Gordon Lang, in the private chapel of Buckingham Palace on 29 May, and named Elizabeth after her mother, Alexandra after her paternal great-grandmother, who had died 6 months earlier, and Mary after her paternal grandmother. Called Lilibet by her close family, based on what she called herself at first, she was cherished by her grandfather, George V, whom she affectionately called Grandpa England, and her regular visits during his serious illness in 1929 were credited in the popular press and by later biographers with raising his spirits and aiding his recovery. Elizabeth's only sibling, Princess Margaret, was born in 1930. The two princesses were educated at home under the supervision of their mother and their governess, Marion Crawford. Lessons concentrated on history, language, literature, and music. Crawford published a biography of Elizabeth and Margaret's childhood years entitled The Little Princesses in 1950, much to the dismay of the royal family. The book describes Elizabeth's love of horses and dogs, her orderliness, and her attitude of responsibility. Others echoed such observations. Winston Churchill described Elizabeth when she was 2 as a character. She has an air of authority and reflectiveness astonishing in an infant. Her cousin Margaret Rhodes described her as a jolly little girl, but fundamentally sensible and well-behaved. May her soul rest in peace. Amen. Queen Elizabeth rarely gave interviews and little was known of her personal feelings. She did not explicitly express her own political opinions in a public forum, and it is against convention to ask.